This is the plaintiff, Sean Simpkins. He says the defendant, his cousin, stole his mother's funeral money by giving her a cheap burial and pocketing the rest. That's right. His mother had a $7,000 funeral policy, and the defendant only spent $3,500 on her funeral. And she stole the rest of the money. Unbelievable. Terrible. Disgusting. You name it. He's suing for $5,000 for mental anguish and stolen inheritance. This is the defendant, Dawn Green Wright. She says the plaintiff's mother listed her as the trustee for her accounts instead of the plaintiff because he's irresponsible with money. He and his mother had a toxic relationship. He didn't visit her when she was sick. And he's the one who's sickening because all he's out for by filing this lawsuit is money because he has none. She's accused of pocketing funeral money.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. The plaintiff says his cousin, the defendant, stole his mom's funeral money and cheaped out on the burial. But the defendant says the plaintiff was a terrible son. It's the case of I will bury you.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Mr. Simpkins.
Yes.
You're suing Dawn Green Wright, who you describe as my second cousin that I've loved all my life, for $5,000 for mental anguish and inheritance. What's going on?
Well, I left New York back in 2003, and a year later, my mother made my cousin trustee of her affairs should anything happen to her. A couple of years back, she had heart surgery, open heart surgery, and that's when Dawn stepped in. She took care of her house, fed her cats, shop for her for things that she needed.
And had she already been made trustee before that?
Yes, she was made trustee in 2004.
Okay.
She had
When
heart
did your
surgery.
mother get sick with the heart surgery?
This was like 2016.
Okay, so many years later. Then she moves in.
No, she never moved in.
Oh, she doesn't move in.
But from 2000 all the way up until then, she never visited my mother. You know what I mean? And my mother lived 4 blocks from Yankee Stadium, and they were selling T-shirts at Yankee Stadium like almost every game.
I'm sorry, I don't understand what you're saying because your mother had her for all those years as a trustee.
Right, but she never visited her until she got sick.
Okay.
So then fast forward to last year, August of 2018, my mother got real sick, went to the hospital, got admitted, and diagnosed with cancer. After that, she got transferred from Bronx Lebanon Hospital to hospice in the Bronx. My mother passes away in October 20th, and
I'm sorry for your loss.
thank you.
And yours. Thank you.
I went out there because I drive trucks. I went and drove my semi out there a couple of weeks before she passed.
Where's out there?
To the Bronx.
Okay, and where do you live?
I live in Kansas.
In Kansas, okay.
Right. So I was working at the time, so my company gave me a load out there so I can take a few days off and visit my mother. Went up there, stayed with Dawn at her home, visited my mother a few times, went back home. 2 weeks later, my mom passes. So after that, I packed my whole family up and we drive back down there in our car, our personal vehicle. We get there and I come to the funeral home and I walk up there. My family's in front and I see a body in the casket. I didn't pay it no mind. I turned around and asked Dawn, "Where's my mama?" She said, "That's your mama." I said, "That's not my mama." She said, "Boy, you crazy. That's your mama." I said, "Man, listen, I know my mother. That's not my mother in that casket." So I have pictures that I wanted to show you that to prove. Everybody I show these to know that all the makeup, all the embalming, everything cannot tell me that this is my mother. So I don't know what.
Do you think your mother's alive?
No.
What is it you're saying?
I think she was cremated and another body was produced for a service.
And they killed someone and put a body for the service?
Or they used someone who was already passed away. I don't know. It sounds crazy.
Yeah, it does.
But I just know in my heart, I know my mama. My mama's my twin. I just strongly believe that that wasn't my mama. So I was already being made to look I was crazy, so I didn't say nothing. But now I'm feeling numb now. I can't mourn because I know in my heart that's not my mama.
Have you spoken to the doctors at hospice? Have you spoken to hospice?
I've spoken to them.
And they say your mother passed?
Yeah.
And did you speak to the funeral home?
Yes.
And did you confirm with them that your mother wasn't cremated?
They said she was, but after the service.
Okay, so did they confirm that that body was your mother?
Oh, yeah.
Well,
sure.
then why can't you sleep? Who do you think is trying to pull one over on you?
I don't know. I don't know. I might be crazy, but that's how I felt at the time.
Okay.
When I look at these pictures, I know it's not my mama.
Okay, so go on.
So I'm dealing with that, and then around November 14th or so, I get a text from my cousin Dawn saying, "What's your address?" I said, "Wow, what's going on?" I sent her my address, and I said, "What's going on?" "Oh, I'm gonna send you some money." So I'm like, "Okay, well, what's this from?" "Oh, from your mother's money." So I was like, "Okay, well, thank you. Well, where's the rest?" She texted me back, "Call me." So I called her. I had the phone recording, and I asked her about it, and she was like, "Yo, I'm doing you a favor, understand?"
Do you have the recording?
Yes.
Can I hear it?
Yes.
You spent $1,000?
Sean, I'm doing you a favor, and you
doing me a favor.
I offered you something.
Slow down, because we had an agreement. We
Had
had
an agreement? This ain't no damn contract.
what?
How you coming out at me, first of all, Sean?
I ain't coming out at you. You coming out at me right now.
What are you talking about?
What am I talking? Okay, so you saying my mother left that to you? She left the money in her bank to you?
Yes, I just faxed you the paper. She did that in 2004.
Okay, I want to see that.
She put me as a trustee.
No, but see, you're misunderstanding. First of all, you need to calm down because I'm just talking to you.
Me off.
I'm you off. Okay, trustee don't mean beneficiary.
I know what the word means. I'm not stupid. It ain't yours. I didn't have to give
It ain't yours either, son.
I didn't have to give you anything. It wasn't
It ain't yours.
She gave it to me. She left it to me.
You are not a beneficiary. You are a trustee.
Trustee.
That's right. There's a difference.
Let me explain to you real quick. When I went to the bank the first time, the bank told me I was the trustee because I had my paperwork. They said, when she dies, you come and get the money. That's what they told me. I know what she told me.
All I need is copies of everything. I want her death certificate. I want the invoice of the funeral services. That was only $3,500.
First of all, it wasn't $3,500.
Yes, it was. The funeral director told me.
I know exactly how much it was.
Okay, so send me the invoice.
I did it. And why you gotta have all these things anyway?
Because I want it. My mama, I need it.
You know, you really, I don't even understand you right now.
What do you mean you don't understand me right now?
First of all, when your mother got sick, you understand me? I was there. When I came out of my pocket, nobody offered me nothing. I did this out of the kindness of my heart for my cousin. You understand me? Her dress alone was $200. I spent money on my cousin. You understand me? Her earrings, her necklace, $75. From her underwear on up, I spent $200. I spent $250 on this food. I offered some to you, and now you're ungrateful. It's coming at me.
Ungrateful?
Coming at me.
Turn it off for a second. I take it you didn't know you were being...
No,
Yeah.
but I meant it.
I know. I can hear the sound of someone who meant it. What were you mad at him about? Tell me your...
Because he wasn't there for anything. I had to make decisions to put the tube down her throat. I had to make decisions to put her in the hospice. You understand? He wasn't a part of that. I was texting him. I was calling him. I was sending him pictures of her. Come on, Sean, come on. He took his time. And then you want to come out acting like, son of the year.
Hold on.
He wants to act like son of the year. You know what I mean? His mother couldn't stand him. She said that out of her own mouth. She said, Dawn, do not trust this man. But I always stayed with Sean. From a little boy, I always looked after him. Her mother would be one ear, he'd be in the other ear about her.
Why were you demanding copies of the bill for the funeral? Did you pay for the funeral?
No.
Okay.
But I know my mother had a $7,000 policy.
Made in,
for
who was
a
the
burial.
beneficiary of that policy?
My uncle.
Okay, what do you have to do with that then?
Because I just wanted to see where things was going.
What difference does it make? If the policy was for $7,000 and the funeral cost $5,000, the rest of that money's for the uncle. That's between you and the uncle. Why are you demanding from her to give you policies and bills and all that other stuff? The person who was by your mother's side when you were in Kansas and couldn't be there. I mean.
Well,
so let's see the bank account we're talking about. It's a very specific bank account that we're talking about, right? All right.
And I have a letter from my mother's pension system that says I'm a beneficiary.
Are you collecting that money?
No, because I'm waiting for the death certificate, which I filed.
Well, why don't you just get the death certificate? That has nothing to do with her either. So are you suggesting that any payments went into the bank account?
Yes.
What payment?
Whatever payment that they give my
whatever
mother.
is not an answer.
I don't know.
Well, I need evidence of that.
They won't give me the information until I produce the death certificate. That was one of the reasons why I needed the death certificate
Then
from
you should have
her.
gotten it from the
So
funeral. No, you don't seem to understand what a death certificate is. It's not something she creates. Everybody else doesn't have to solve your problems. You don't need the death certificate from her. You need it from the funeral place. What's the date of her death?
October 20th.
Is that accurate, ma'am?
Yes.
All right. Did any payments on the pension go into the account after her death?
I went to the bank yesterday and they told me one went in.
Okay. All right. Okay, first of all, what we have here is a failure to communicate. Every time you said to him, I am the trustee, I don't know if you were trustee of other stuff,
No.
but when an account is held in the following manner, Joyce Simpkins in trust for Dawn Renee Green Wright, you are the beneficiary.
Oh,
You are what is called the beneficiary, not the trustee.
Okay. But I texted that to him.
I know, but you were screaming at him and saying, well, you don't know what trustee means. Have you seen this document that shows her?
Yes, he has.
Yeah, you're not at all.
No, I haven't.
Well,
I have not seen
what was
it.
it she sent to you? Where's?
I sent it to him.
Oh, that picture there?
Sure is.
Oh, it says in
Yeah,
trust.
well, you know what that means. If you're so hip on the language, then you know that means that she's the beneficiary.
I was led to understand trustee means
No,
controls.
trustee does mean that. In trust for doesn't mean that the next name that's after it is the trustee. The words in trust for,
Right.
operative word being for,
Right.
means that the name after that is the beneficiary. Okay?
Correct.
All right, guys. So this was a joint account in your mother and her name. Okay? So until the date of death and even thereafter, it's her money. Now, if money is going in there that is coming from the pension fund, and you are in fact the beneficiary of the pension, do you know whether he is or not?
I don't know.
It says that I sent you the paper from the pension.
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
According to the paper. So let me tell you where this stuff gets handled. You folks are avoiding probate court because it costs money to go to probate court. But guess what? Don't touch the money that's going in there now.
Right.
Okay? Because any money that is there frozen on October 20th, you are right, belongs to you. But any money that comes in after that does
Right.
not belong to you.
Right.
Okay? It belongs to whoever her sole survivor is. Unless she left a will. Did she leave a will?
No.
Okay. So then her survivor, who is you, would be entitled to any assets beyond what is in that account at the time of her death. Now, it's going to cost you a lot of money to go to probate. So I'm going to attempt to figure this out in a way that is acceptable to both of you guys. Do you understand what I'm saying?
So is it an excuse if a son or daughter says, it was too painful for me to visit my parent in the hospital because they were really sick? Is that a legit excuse?
No,
Why?
because it's your obligation as their son or daughter.
What if they say they just can't handle it because it's too painful?
No, because you should go for them, not for you.
An excellent point. What do you say?
I disagree, actually. I think that your own mental health is a health issue as well, and you have a right to protect yourself. So
That could end up being an excuse, just not wanting to be uncomfortable, right?
no, I think your mental health is just as important as your physical health. So if you physically couldn't go, that would be a legitimate excuse. So if you emotionally can't go, that's a legitimate excuse.
Fair enough, going inside the courtroom.
What we're going to do is we're going to cover everything that's come in after her death. Okay? Because anything that came in before her death, she's right, that was hers. All right, now, There are 3 payments from the pension. Hold on. These 2 come in before her death. So I only see 1 that comes in after her death.
Right.
That one is on the 2nd page, and it's dated October 31st for $515.70.
Yes.
That's what we're talking about. 1 pension payment of $515.70. Correct?
Correct.
All right, don't touch the $515.70. Do what you have to do in order to get the pension company to declare that the money is yours.
Yes.
Once you have that paperwork, send it to Dawn, please. Or if you don't want to have communications with Dawn anymore because it's gotten so bad, how are your communications with the husband? Bad
He
too?
can
or
send it
okay?
to me. It
He can
doesn't
send it to
matter.
you? All right. All right, so send it to her, and then at that point, that money, because it really represents a pension payment, does go to him.
He can have it.
Okay, that's how we're handling that. And is there any other property that was involved?
No.
No.
All right, is everybody in agreement with what I've just said?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, then I don't see why you need to open up a probate case if there's no other property and it was just about this bank account, right?
Right.
All right, folks, you're welcome.
Thank you.
And good luck, okay?
Thank you.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, litigants in the hallway with Doug.
Spend some time with Judge Millian. For free tickets, call 1-888-780-8587.
So, after careful consideration, the judge has really worked out an agreement here between the parties that'll save them from going to probate court. You understand now?
Yes.
You're pretty clear. There was no judgment entered here. Okay?
No problem.
All right, good enough. Can you communicate with your cousin?
Now they have reason to be mad at me.
All right. Well, that's a shame. Okay. Well, good luck to
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ms. Greenwright, you understand too now.
Yes.
Okay, well, good luck to you. I'm sorry this is such a
It's okay.
mess. But anyway, it's been worked out. And the judge saved you, I think, a lot of hassle.
Yeah.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Okay, good enough. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
You're very welcome.
Okay, Doug, in most states, if you die without a will, the spouse and the kids will get the money first, and if there is no spouse or kids, then the parents get it. If there are no parents, brothers and sisters get it.